So the first part is just simple. Do you get an equation? Do you know how to find the min, max, and the period in this case? So to get the min, we simply take D, which is the midline. I should have asked for that. We subtract the amplitude from it to get to the lowest point. To get to the highest point, we take the midline, which is D. We add the amplitude, so that's our max. Okay, so those are, I'm just going to give you 1 mark for each. And then to find the period, I'm just going to give you 1 mark for that. So it's basically 2 pi divided by b. B is that value in front of x right there. So just 3 marks. So we're going to cross off the 2 marks and just say this is worth 3 marks for the first part. For the second one, sine waves are just a little bit more work to graph than any other. Okay? You don't just have 1 point and just go off of it, right? What I would suggest you do, that's what I do. I mean, if you have a different method, you go for it. But I kind of find the max and the min and the mid. Just from the equation, I figured that out. And I also find the period. Why the period? Because I need to know, like my x max, what should it be? Okay? You enter this into your calculator, and I always put the max, the mid, and the min in my y2, y3, y4. Not always. I will show you a different way of doing it as well. Let me just adjust the contrast. There we go. That's better. And so then you graph it. Oops, what was that? The window for my x max, I want to see at least 2 cycles. So I go 3 times whatever the period is, just to make sure I fit everything in. And that's what I end up getting. Okay? So I started in my work, I started with that first high right there. That one right there. I just found the coordinates, and it ends up being this right here. All right, so second trace 5, you go to it, enter, it jumps to the red line, enter, enter, and there's your intersection. It's 9, 19.24, and so forth. Okay, so just keep going. However, this one, it asks you to start at x is equal to 0. Okay, what is that for us? That's the y-intercept. So I'm going to give you 1 mark for starting at x equals to 0, and you have to have that point there. So that would be right about there. Of course, I looked at all of your graphs. Everybody has a slightly different scale. We're not going to we're not going to deduct for you having different scales. Okay, so yours might be much bigger because maybe you went, because look at, I went 10, for every 2 boxes is 10 for me. That's fine as long as the points are where they're supposed to be. Yes?
What if you like start a different period?
A different period?
Yeah.
How so? Like you show this work?
Yeah, but
and just,
I just divided it by the wrong number.
Oh.
Yeah.
That would probably be today at just a half deduction if I see you going 2 pi divided by a number. Half. Yeah. And it would affect your graph though, right? Actually, not really, because if you go off of this equation, you type that in, you still will get the same.
Yeah.
The period is just wrong. Yeah. If I asked you what is the period, you would lose the marks. I didn't ask you for it. So technically, let's just take half off today. I go x and y, and then I just find 5 consecutive points. Listen to this part. From this max to this max, that's supposed to be 24, right? According to my period. And so to find the next one here, I just take the 33, my last high here, the x value, and I just add another 24 to it. Right? And that gives me 57. 57, 19.24. You don't need to label it as long as the point is where it's supposed to be, but I'm just showing you what I did. Then I go to my low here, and I add 24 to that one to help me out here, right? So you go 24, and this should also be 24. So you basically have 3 points now that should allow you to find a pretty decent curve, and we know you know how this is supposed to be done. Okay, that's it. So I'll give you the liberty to give yourselves 3 marks. One of them being that it has to start at the y-intercept. If you didn't do that, then you lose 1 mark. It's 2 out of 3. Okay. The rest is up to you, how you want to give yourselves a mark there. Oh, I'm forgetting my labels, right? I'm forgetting my equation. That'll be a half off. Yes, Andre. That's fine. As long as these are more for me than for you, because I will go check if you actually have your point in that area right here. Right? I'm going to actually check based on your scale. Is it 9, 19.24? Is it supposed to be there? Okay. Got it? Okay. Yep.
What's the first question on it?
3. 1 for each. 1 for min, 1 for max, 1 for period. And this last one is 3 as well, but one of them being the y-intercept.
What if we put the point to the y-intercept or the right?
That's fine.
So
As long as it's where it's supposed to be on your graph.
oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, this is sinusoidals is tricky to teach, okay? Because there's various methods. So to be honest, 100% honest, you want to hear how you could have none of these points anywhere. You can have none of this work. You just literally have the points where they're supposed to go on your graph, and you get full marks on the exam. So, but what I mean by this, you only lose this mark if you didn't start there. You know what I mean? Like if you don't actually have it there and starting from there. If you have something like that, then you lose the mark. Okay? So you don't have to actually state it. It just has to be on your graph. Okay? I appreciate those questions because sometimes what I'm trying to say kind of doesn't get translated properly. All right. So name and last name on there. So it's out of 6, right? Total.